Hello, this is Rocky Mountain Edibles. I'm here to share with you another installment in the Wild Onion and Death Camas series. It is my hope that you will feel more comfortable distinguishing between these two species of plants. Let's get started. This particular hillside I'm on right now contains a number of different wild edible species. The one I will focus on for this part of the video is wild onion. I'm going to dig up a couple of plants here and then we'll move further up the hill about 20-30 yards to where there's a number of Death Camas. I'll dig up a couple of those and then we'll compare the defining characteristics of each species so that you feel more comfortable identifying each one of these in the outdoors. It's sometimes kind of difficult to dig in this rocky soil. Usually you can find areas that are a little bit easier to dig. So I have both species of plants here and we're going to take a closer look. I find that it's easiest to distinguish between wild onion and Death Camas when both of them are flowering. You'll notice that the wild onion above here actually has an umbel characteristic to the flowers, and specifically it kind of looks like an umbrella. That's an easy way to remember it. Whereas with the Death Camas, you'll notice that the flowers grow up along the stem. It's not that characteristic umbel pattern. However, you'll notice with the Death Camas that the flowers come off of the raceme. It's not in the characteristic umbel pattern. So that's one of the best ways to differentiate from wild onion. And also you will notice that there are differences in the leaves. In one of my other videos, I had shared with you some of these things. I'll just briefly go over them now. You'll notice that the wild onion has more of a bluish look to the leaf structure, whereas the Death Camas is more distinctly green, almost like a grass-like color. We're going to start off by taking a look at the leaves of the Death Camas. One of the most noticeable characteristics of the Death Camas leaf is that there is a very distinct V notch that runs the entire length of the leaf. It is not only something that you can see, but you can also feel it with your fingers as you run your fingers along the length of the leaf. The V notch in the leaf actually makes it very easy to fold the leaf over on itself without any effort. And you can do that along the entire length of the leaf. It just naturally wants to fold over on itself. Now let's take a look at the wild onion leaf. So with the wild onion leaf, you will notice, if you are able to look closely at it, that it does not have the characteristic V notch throughout the entire length of the leaf. When you compare them side by side, you can immediately see the differences, not only in color, not only in the difference of the Death Camas having the V notch through the entire length of the leaf, whereas the wild onion has a gentle concavity throughout the length of the leaf, but you can also distinctly tell a difference based off of feel. The Death Camas leaf has a very characteristic grass-like feel as you run your fingers along the length of the leaf. It is slightly abrasive, whereas the wild onion leaf feels very smooth to the touch, comparatively speaking. You don't necessarily need to be able to identify the species of each plant to be able to see the differences between one genus and the other. However, I will say that it is very important to be aware of identification and be absolutely certain that your identification is positive. One of the ways to make sure you are safe is to make sure to identify the species for each. This wild onion is Allium gayeri, whereas the Death Camas is Zygodinus paniculatus. There are a number of different species of wild onion in the West, and there are a number of different species of Death Camas in the West. You don't necessarily have to be able to identify the specific species, but as I mentioned, it is best for you to do so that you can make sure, so that you can be absolutely certain of your identification. This video does not replace research you need to do on your own. Please make sure you do your own research, get flora guides and other plant books to make absolutely certain of your identification of any plant before you attempt to use it in any way. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I will be creating some more videos. I'm even considering about making a plant video series about the most poisonous plants of the West.